Ankara is launching an unprecedented propaganda campaign, using the war in Iran to challenge Greek sovereignty over 16 islands in the Aegean. While the Turks target Greece's legitimate defensive armament, they maintain a commando brigade just 30 kilometers east of Samos and illegally move F-16s and armored vehicles to Cyprus. With incendiary posts on social media, they claim the right to military action to enforce the Blue Homeland Doctrine, while Athens is reinforcing Carpathos with Patriot missiles. This is a form of blackmail that seeks to impose a regime of Turkish dominance on Greek territory, but it is met with Greece's ironclad deterrence. Devlet Bahçeli tears down every Western facade of Ankara, announcing a nightmarish Turkey-Iran alliance and dreaming of a unified Islamic front against the West. Identifying Ankara's fate with that of Gaza and Baghdad, Erdogan's government partner declares war on the Zionist machine, while the Turkish press is seized by panic. The newspaper Sözcü reveals Ankara's terror over Greece's Achilles shield, with the Sky Defender system and artificial intelligence locking down the Aegean, nullifying neo-Ottoman fantasies of dominance. Erdogan is in despair, as the American blockade on General Electric F-110 engines leads to the complete cancellation of the Turkish fighter jet, Khan. 6 months after Fidan's admissions about the freeze from Congress, there has been no progress, leaving the fifth-generation aircraft without a heart. The Turkish opposition exposes the government for politically exploiting a non-existent project, emphasizing that the Khan is just for show and not for flight. Benjamin Netanyahu launched a harsh response to Erdogan's Ottoman fantasies, describing extreme Islam, both Sunni and Shia, as a global threat. At a time when Ankara is trying to dominate the Islamic world, taking advantage of Iran's weakening, the president of the Turkish National Assembly, Numan Kurtulmus, launched a scathing attack on the Israeli prime minister, calling him the second Hitler. The conflict is moving beyond diplomatic boundaries, revealing the Turkish plan to legitimize genocidal policies under the guise of religion. Israel makes it clear that terrorism, whether through organizations or regular armies, will face the iron will of the West.
The Turkish Ministry of Defense
launched a fierce attack against Greece, calling the deployment of Patriot missiles in Carpathos and F-16s in Limnos illegal. Ankara is bringing back the narrative of demilitarization, threatening with necessary measures, and accusing Athens of exploiting regional crises. At the same time, Turkey rejects any European assistance to Cyprus, insisting on its role as the sole guarantor power. This escalation reveals Turkey's strategic entrapment, as Greece fortifies the Aegean through the global energy and military conflict. Turkey is escalating its aggression, accusing Greece of illegally reinforcing Carpathos and the Aegean Islands militarily. Erdogan's advisor, Karagül, is directly threatening to occupy all of Greece and Cyprus, claiming that Athens and Nicosia are acting as Israel's enforcers. While Ankara is transferring offensive systems to the occupied territories, its rhetoric reflects the fear over the military cooperation between Greece, Israel, and the United States. Turkey realizes that the geopolitical map of the region is changing permanently, putting its expansionist plans at risk. The former Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, warns Turkey of an immediate military response if it continues to support radical Islam. Ankara under Erdogan is accused of turning from a transit country into an operational hub for ISIS, while also supporting Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. The suspension of trade relations and the rhetoric about capturing Jerusalem have put Turkey in the crosshairs of Israeli security. While Greece remains a pillar of stability, Israel makes it clear that it will not allow the creation of a new Islamist alliance that threatens its existence. The fateful end of the Ottoman plans is approaching. Iran establishes the doctrine of holistic attrition, declaring a constant war against the West, with the goal of complete energy blockade. The Hatam al-Anbiya military staff warns that every tanker, especially those of Israel, is a legitimate target, predicting that the price of oil will soar to $200. Tehran intends to cause economic suffocation and social uprisings in Europe and America through continuous sabotage and harassment in the Gulf. While Turkey trembles at the impending collapse, Greece emerges as a stable stronghold, prepared for the unpredictable consequences of global destabilization. The fateful end of cheap energy is here. The FBI has issued an urgent warning about an imminent suicide drone attack over Los Angeles, causing panic among the American public. The threat concerns cheap but deadly drones that can penetrate traditional air defense systems, targeting critical infrastructure and often striking at key locations. While Trump escalates operations in the Gulf, bringing the conflict onto American soil marks a new and nightmarish phase of the war. The kamikaze drone technology that was tested in Ukraine and the Middle East now threatens the center of global entertainment, marking the end of America's invulnerable zone. The planet is sinking into economic Armageddon as the price of oil reached $120 after the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump described the crisis as a small price to pay for neutralizing Iran, while BlackRock shocks Wall Street by restricting withdrawals from major funds. The loss of 20% of the world's oil supply is causing a financial bloodbath. While Iranian attacks hit desalination facilities, Greece is fortifying its energy sector, watching the collapse of economies that relied on Iranian energy. President Trump is considering sending his own forces to Iran to seize stocks of highly enriched uranium. A prerequisite is the complete suppression of Iranian air defenses and air superiority by the U.S. and Israel. The targets include strategic locations such as Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, as well as critical ports and refineries to force a surrender. The operation is planned to be airborne and of limited duration, targeting the heart of the nuclear program. While the West escalates, Turkey remains in confusion, with Greece weighing its role as a strategic partner. The U.S. is proceeding with further strengthening its military presence in the Middle East. As reports indicate, another aircraft carrier is being prepared for deployment in the region during a period of increased tension with Iran. As reported by Fox News, the aircraft carrier George Bush completed its final preparations on Thursday before its deployment, marking its entry into operational readiness. According to a statement from the U.S. Navy, the ship, along with the warships accompanying it and its air wing, successfully completed the complex operational readiness exercise. Thank you for watching us. For the latest updates, like and subscribe to our channel.